Okay, so who am I speaking to today?
Speak to Bram.
And
Bram from Lombardy East, or the Greater Lombardy East Glera
okay,
area.
all right.
Okay.
So just to jump straight into it, what were the first steps with regards to gating and having an access control around Glera?
Yeah, so we started in 2019, but before that there were two other attempts in this area, the Glera area, which is the Greater Lombardy East area. So it's Rembrandt Park, Lombardy East, Rembrandt Ridge, a portion of Corlett Gardens. That falls all under Glera. And it has been tried in the 2000s, like around 2010 or 12, somewhere there. And then in 2019, the call came again to try it. We firstly then said, let's do a research. Like, what are the different security options that we can have? Because booming is quite radical. It will take longer. It will also require a lot of work. But then we said, like, okay, look at all the security options, and we still came to the conclusion that because we spoke about drones, we spoke about guards, we spoke about additional security armed response, we spoke about cameras. We said the only way of really radically bringing down crime is to enclose and boom of our area.
Okay, and what did the process look like when you started this? What, from your research, what did you find out about the process?
What we did first is that when we came to the conclusion, and it took us several meetings already, when we came to the conclusion that booming is really the way to go, and then we had a few stakeholders in the community and individuals that said, okay, let's do this. We then said, like, but let's first, which is then also a marketing tool, but at the same time you also get feedback from the community, is to get a survey out. So it was that COVID just started. It was 2020, November. So people were used to lockdown. People were already used to online things, virtual meetings, but also online surveys. So we sent out a online survey, and we had like around close to 1,000 respondents.
Okay.
And like overwhelming 99% of the respondents were in favor, or would be in favor of closing off our area, and that only 1% was not even against it. It was just like, just had questions.
Okay.
So we had a very good motivation to go ahead. We had a lot of feedback. We had a lot of data of the crime that people experienced. And the sense of crime, how people felt. And it was overwhelming, like there's a lot happening. And in our area, Theo, you are from Bramley View, we spoke to the police officers today, and they said, like, no, a lot of the crime now is pushed to Bramley View. And it's not that we want to push the crime to your side, but it's just the effect of making this area safer.
Yes, 100%. And now tell me, did you then decide, let's gather a few individuals who are going to help us with this, or what, is there an association that assisted with this?
Yeah, so Glera is, remember, Glera is a community residence association,
okay,
which is already in existence since the 40s or 50s of the previous century, so they are well established.
Okay.
And we then became a subcommittee. But from the beginning, it's not always as easy, because you always need to get people that want to put their time into it. It's always good to have a few individuals who are really dedicated to the project, and to see the vision of the long-term situation, have the patience, because it will take a few years, but it's worth the investment, the time investment, because even if it takes time, the moment you start closing it off, you think, like, but by the way, where were we like last year at this time?
Yeah. And then the people that you worked with, was it on a volunteer basis, or
everyone is a volunteer?
Okay.
Everyone is a volunteer, but that is also, we had to learn along the way. So we've really come to the process that people need to commit themselves. be able to get along, also to make sure that there is like some form of rules of engagement between each other, so that, because if you are residents, you're all equal. There's no boss. There's no like in a corporate structure or in a hierarchy of government, for example. You don't have someone to report to. So everyone wants to have a say. But as long as you all have the same vision, that should be possible.
Would it work better if people were compensated financially?
No, because then people will see like there's like a benefit to it. Okay. Like I would see that on that you're just doing it because you're getting paid or no. So from our side, no one has ever been compensated for the time or work that they've put to the project.
Brilliant. Now, when we speak about that funding, it's easy to ask how much the whole project cost, but I think what really for me is important is question number one. Did you have a participation of every household when it comes to this, or are there people in the community or households that are not involved?
It comes in stages.
Okay.
So at first you'll have, and it's nice. It was also one of the things like one of the residents put forward. It's like you in marketing you've got different groups of people. Okay. So the first group of people are the early adapters and the visionaries. Those are the ones who believe in you in the project. And they want to tag along, they want to invest in it, etc. They're just happy to be on board, no matter what. But that's like maybe 10% of the amount of residents. Then you still have a portion of people to see like, okay, now something is happening, we get on board. Okay. Then you've got the largest group of people, they want to see that's actually approved.
Yeah. And
there's actual things happening. And then there's some skeptics who always have questions, and then you've got people that you cannot convince because of their own selfish reasons. They might be criminals, they might not have a benefit of having a safer suburb, whatever reason. Or they might not like you as a person and they don't want you to benefit from it, whatever. So there's different groups of people, and that's what we need to acknowledge. So if you start with it, you know that there's only a few, or let's say one slice of the pie that you can actually reach out to. Okay. So it goes step by step. Yeah.
So are you saying that currently there are some people that to this day have never been involved financially towards?
Oh, absolutely. There's a large portion of the community. If you look at our community structure, we've got, let's say, officially 1,200 households in our project area. But we've also recognized that out of that, we've got a lot of vacant properties, criminal properties, hijacked properties, etc. So it means like we can only maybe reach out to a maximum of 1,000.
Okay.
We've had contributions of over 455 at the moment. So it means like we're almost like, let's say we are not 50% of households that have made one or more contribution before. Yeah.
Okay. And then now, that financial strain when there's a little less people contributing obviously inflates the price, because the quotation remains the same regardless of how many people contribute.
Yeah.
So are you at liberty to discuss as to how many, or rather how much it costs per household that actually said I want to help?
Yeah, no, we've got like, so we break it down in two different things. So we ask the people for a once-off contribution. Yeah. And we ask the people for an ongoing contribution.
Okay.
And we've now only now, so this is now four years down the line, that we are about to ask the once of the monthly contribution.
Okay.
And we've also got a strategy of how we want to put that in place. Okay. But the once off contribution is the one that we've been driving, because all that we are doing still is only once off. Because you don't want a lot of monthly contributions, we try to reduce that cost as much as possible, but you will have maintenance, you will have a lot of monthly cost. But and that is also the chicken and the egg story. Like, why do you charge 5,000? Why not 10,000? Why not 2,000? And it also depends on like our calculations, where we said like, what if we can get money from 1/3 of the community, full amount, 1/3 of the community, half of the amount, and 1/3 just we cannot expect anything from them. So that's how we calculate it. So out of 1,000, then that's where we depended our budget on. And speaking about the budget, you also look at what are the possibilities. I often say like the Thornhill estate, which even Bramley View residents might know, is in Modderfontein.
Yes.
And that estate is actually public, used to be public roads, because they are like, they've got the fire department there, they've got community, municipality offices there as well. But if you look at the security that they've put up, it's like an estate. So it's like an end vision. That's where you want to go to.
Yeah.
Where there's like electric fencing from down to up. Where there's, you first have to look at what is the entry level cost, what is the minimum that you can pay, and then you talk about what is the desired amount that you can get. So we need to get to that. You probably also have to then budget. So you have someone who can say like, okay, if we break it down like that, and we've got the minimum cost, how many residents will have to pay how much money?
Do you have those figures as to say the minimum is this much?
Yeah, so we ask for 5,000 rands per household in our suburb.
That's the once off.
That's the once off. And then the ongoing, we are going to ask 300 rands per household.
Okay.
Ongoing, so it's per month.
And that's obviously based on the amount of people that are willing to come on board.
Yeah.
Do you ever get these complaints where people feel, but I'm contributing and the next house is not contributing? And now, what do you do with those, the ones that are still benefiting, but they're not contributing? Is there a plan? Is there something that can be done legally or in any way? No?
So you depend on the voluntary contribution of your members, but you obviously want to create some form of peer pressure because this affects all of us. But at the same time, we emphasize continuously to our residents that this is a selfish situation. You do it for yourself and your family. And if everyone does it for themselves and their family, then we get it done.
Yeah, and we all.
But if you are waiting for your neighbor to do it first before you start, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, you're not doing it for yourself anymore.
Then but then it's not going to happen because you can wait for a long time. He's waiting for you, you are waiting for him. So we need to do this together, but we need to take initiative. We need to put money on the table because it costs money. You've got the traffic impact assessment that needs to be done by an engineer. You need to do the application to the municipality. All in all, that might cost 100,000 rands. Then you've got the initial phases that you need to start, like when it comes to construction. You want to build fences, you want to build gates, etc.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned that there's a once-off cost and there's a monthly cost. Do you mind explaining what is the once-off for? What was the purpose of the once-off? What did it cover? And then what does the monthly cover?
It's for the initial capital. So that means like anything that doesn't require ongoing cost. So it's the installation of things.
Yes.
It's plus it's the application fee. Everything that comes to about it, that circles around the application fee. So that's the engineering for the impact assessment, traffic impact assessment. That needs to be done by a traffic engineer.
Yes.
Then you've got the application fees to the municipality. Then you've got the fencing for us. Then you've got the gates. You've got the booms. You've got the cameras. You've got and then there's all the little things around it that is attached to the once-off cost. The ongoing costs, and we are trying to reduce them as much as possible. So we are not opting for guards because they are very expensive.
Yes.
For a 24-hour situation, you might pay up to like 40,000 rands if it's a reputable security company per month.
Guard.
Per month. No, it's per one entrance.
Okay, per one entrance.
Because you need 3 guards per entrance, basically.
Okay.
They've got shifts of like, let's say 10 hours, and then, or 12 hours, but then you need someone to stand by.
Yes.
So it means like that is a massive cost. We cannot afford that as a community, so we need to reduce that in total. So we keep it to the camera systems to do the work for the guards. And also we are looking for the future, and the future brings a lot of AI technology into the camera systems, meaning that we anticipate in the next 5 to 10 years
You won't be needing cars.
we don't need it. The AI cameras might even be more effective than the
Look, we see it in Savoy. Right now, the booms in Savoy they're not manned.
Yeah.
You know, so you find that the cameras are doing all the work, but it's safer, still a safer area. Now, community engagements. You mentioned that you spoke to the community regarding surveys online during that COVID time. But the implementation happened this year, if I'm not mistaken, right?
The actual installation happened this year.
Now, how did you go about the community engagements? Did you have to call regular meetings? Were they online meetings? Did you have to have each and every person's contact details?
So we started on WhatsApp. And from there, we organized a community meeting. The first community meeting that we had was probably one of the busiest community meetings ever held in this community. We had over 100 people physically there and over another 60 people online. So it was quite massive. So there was a very big demand for it. But obviously, the longer the process happens, the more tired of meetings or meeting tired people become. So now that we had the issue with the taxi association taking down some of our gates, we did have a lot of questions from community members. So if you look at the community meetings, so the community meetings are fine, but at the same time, the WhatsApp becomes very effective.
Okay.
I think we've grown with when people got used to the WhatsApp groups and the rules of what it's like on the WhatsApp groups, very well, like how we had like people talking about nonsense in the Ward 81, but nowadays it's also more quiet. Like people don't feel the need of just sharing everything. So people have become more matured. We've grown in that period of time as well. We've got now over 1,200 residents on our WhatsApp groups here, booming only. And that's how we can communicate effectively as well. But the engagement of the community needs much more than that. So we've got like a team of people that go door to door. They literally talk to people. We've got flyers, pamphlets that we distribute. So it's really like from different angles that you need to take it, so that people also talk to their own neighbors, etc. The word of mouth is very important, because otherwise people don't want to listen to someone who lives on the other side of the suburb. But if they listen to you as the direct neighbor, then it's like, okay, yeah, no, it's true. I must also do something now.
Tell me, were there any unexpected delays in the process? Any challenges that you?
There's always challenges. There's always challenges internally. People not wanting to work together, or so it's good to have like an established situation where you've got rules of engagement, where people know how to work and collaborate together. Secondly, also to communicate properly to everyone and be patient. There's always people that want to know it all. So if it comes to WhatsApp groups, etc., is to keep on explaining what the idea is.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, and then always is the time frame. So, for example, like, what do you start with first? It's important. So the good thing is always to check what takes the longest time. Is it the getting contributions from people, or is it getting the application in, or is it waiting for the application? So that's always very important to do. I would suggest that you start with the application. Start with getting a traffic impact engineer, traffic engineer who can do the impact study, so that you can also show the community that something is being done, and you fundraise for that. Now you fundraise for each thing individually. You create milestones, say, look, well, now it's done. We spent around 65,000 rands on traffic impact assessment. So then you say, like, okay, this is something tangible. We are contributing towards this now. So please, neighbors, contribute towards this. We need this done. If we get this done, we start contributing towards the application. But at the same time, the application team works together and says, like, oh, we need a map for this. We need an approval for that. We need this for that. And then you can submit.
Speaking of fundraising, did you guys ever have other means of raising funds besides contributions? And did you by any chance have any sponsorship, maybe from different companies or surrounding?
No, the only contribution we got is a portion of the fence, because the Greenstone Mall replaced their fence. We approached them, and we got like around 500 meters of fencing from them donated. So that was definitely a game changer, because most of the gates that you see now are made out of the Greenstone Mall fence.
Yes. Okay. That's amazing. That's good. And how have the residents responded to the current gating? The fact that there's gating now, how are they responding? What are they saying?
No, the residents are happy, but of course we often look at what still needs to be done rather than what is already done.
Yeah.
Let's say we are halfway with the gating and booms, but we still have a long way to go to complete the entire project.
Yeah.
In total, let me also mention that, I don't mind, in total we've raised over 1.5 million as a community, and it sounds like a lot, but it's actually peanuts compared to what we actually need to spend in total.
Yeah.
And especially considering like what type of quality that you want for the different things. So yeah, but it's a very, I mean, like, it's a very good start. I mean, like, to raise 1.5 million, it's not bad.
It is. And then with regards to the crime statistics, has so far, with what you have already done, has there been an impact?
Absolutely. We've got the statistics. We also get the statistics from SAPS, and our CPF has really like specified it for our area, and you can see that there's a massive change. We had several hijacks per month, which is now reduced to either 0 or 1 or 2, and the major getaways are still open. We haven't closed them yet.
Okay.
So there's an absolute change in reduction of crime.
You spoke of CPF. Do you guys have CPF or a security company, or what type of security do you have when it comes to manpower? I know we mentioned cameras, we mentioned the booming, but when it comes to the people that secure the area, do you have security companies? Is there
we've got armed response in our area, but that is besides booming. So our booming project has not yet appointed a armed response.
Okay.
For now, what we're just doing is to make sure that the area is going to be enclosed, the booms are active, they're going to be electric, so it means like it doesn't need any manpower, but we need the cooperation and the collaboration with the security companies. CPF, remember, CPF is an administrative force between the community and the police, and they are instrumental in also identifying where the hotspots are, what we need to do at which exit and entrance, etc. So they're busy currently to identify, like, in our steps going forward, where do we start? What is the most important? Okay.
And then what advice would you give a community like ours in Bramley View with regards to the whole gating? I mean, there's challenges that you guys have overcome. What is the best advice you can give the community of Bramley View to achieve this goal?
The best is just to do it, to start, and not look at all the challenges and the complications that are on the way, but just start and continue doing it. You even get to know your neighbors whilst you're on it, and it's a good thing. You create a sense of community again. And there are actually so many more benefits than you would even understand. Like, we currently have the Curie Road. There's shops at the entrance here at Curie Road, and the moment we closed that thing, all the shops are now occupied. Most of them used to be vacant.
Yeah.
So it's spin-offs. You start with something, and it's just unfortunate that we live in a country, it's the state of our nation, that we live in a country where we are not able to get the crime down as much and as fast as we want to. We are advised by ADT, we are advised by ZSS, the security companies in our area. We are advised by the police, by SEPS Sandringham, to close off our area. Now, if the individuals of those institutions are advising us, who are we then to say like, no, but we can do it in different ways, or we should keep it open, because it's an unfortunate situation. I wish we didn't have to as a country, but we do have to take certain roles. We have to take up certain roles as community members and citizens ourselves.
Did you guys use the Lera bank account details in order to?
No, but we opened our own account to be really transparent, and everything that goes in and out is only related to Bumi.
Okay, but now what is it? Is it an account opened by Lera?
It's under the Glera account.
Okay.
A new bank account. How do you say it? Like you've got the bigger account, and then
it just doesn't belong to Bram.
No, it shouldn't. Yeah. No, I've been accused of like opening my own account and sending the people the. Yeah, we've been accused of like falsifying our bank statements and all of that. But it's like we're trying to be completely transparent. We're also going to put audits on all our books and all of that, so that the auditor can be
especially once you've now
because especially if you now have got raised over $1 million, then it means you don't want people to question anything. I mean, like, we are spending our time, we are spending our money, our petrols and everything,
and you don't get paid for it.
And we're not getting paid for it, but the reward is there eventually, hopefully.
Bram, thank you very much for your time. This was excellent.
Awesome.
I think we will use whatever advice that we can.
Try it.
Thank you so much.
All right, all the best and good luck.
Thank you.